Hi, how are you guys? So today we are going to discuss about AI agents. What are the AI agents? What are the traditional agents and how does it differ from AI agents to the traditional agents? And how we have been listening to buzzwords of the AI agents, like how it is going to impact our future and how it can be the building block of tomorrow's AI. So stay with me, and with the end of this video, you'll be able to understand what AI agents actually are, how does it work, how does it differ from traditional AI, traditional workflows, and the agents. Yeah. So stay tuned with me and happy learning. So before going to the AI agents, I'll introduce myself. I'm Pranoti Nandurkar. I'm having around 14 years of industry experience. I'm working as a technical architect in leading MNC. I'm also GDG organizer as well as a WPTM ambassador. I'm passionate about contributing to the tech communities and enjoy learning new technologies. And I'm a bit traveler. So before going into the discussion, we'll see what we will cover today. We'll cover the agent frame. So, what are the essentials before you dive into the agents spaces? And what are the Gen AI's building blocks? What are agents? How it has been evolving? And building blocks of an agent and agents in action. So when we say the agents in action, some of the real world examples, how does this agents works? So these are the three terms represent the hierarchy of the intelligent artificial intelligence with each building block upon previous one. Let's break down into the deeper. So what is the artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is a building machines that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence. So, must have seen the self-driving cars, the virtual assistants like Siri and the Alexas, then the recommendation engines like Netflix, Amazon, or spam filters in email. These are all the can say the example of artificial intelligence. So when we say what is artificial intelligence, the definition it goes like it's a broad field of building machines that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence. This is the one overreaching goal to create system that can think, reason, and solve the problem, who can perceive the machine, who can understand, and which can give a solution to a problem, which in a broader term we are calling as a artificial intelligence. Then what is a machine learning? So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So in machine learning it learns from the data. Artificial intelligence is a broader term, whereas machine learning is some learning which is based on some historical data. So think of a child which you like, of a child which you're giving instructions, and child is understanding these instructions and perceiving it. So this is a date. So this is similar like a learning, like you are teaching a child. You have to teach a child. You give an example. You give a real life scenario, and that's how the child learns from the experiences. The similar way here in machine learning, machine learns from the previous experiences. Here in the when we say the experiences with the historical data. Okay. And what is a generative AI? Generative AI is a broader, again a subset of machine learning. So when we say the generative AI, it is creating or generating new content based like depending on or the basis of the older content. So it can create the similar content or it can create a new content over the period of time. So you can see the examples of generative AIs are large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini, or image generator models like Delhi or Midjourney, or you can see music composition or the synthetic data generation or video generation tools. So these are the application of generative AI. So in summary, AI is a big picture with a goal making machines intelligent. Machine learning is a powerful approach that AI allows machine to learn from, and then the generative AI is a specific and advanced application of ML which is focused on creating a novel content. So you can see here. So these are the generative AI's building blocks. You can see here the core of the building block is an infrastructure. Then it comes a model, then platform, and then agents, and then the Gen AI applications. Okay, so we will see what are these Gen AI's building blocks one by one. So infrastructure. So what is a infrastructure layer in a Gen AI applications? So think it is like a foundation of all generative AI operations. So this layer provide the core computing resources and are which are absolutely essential for learning or teaching any machine learning model or their or computing. So these are like computing. These are the computing. This provides essential computing powers like GPUs, TPUs, and the processing units. So essentially, it is a digital home for your AI application model and their learning materials. So consider is as a hardware or the storage or the computing power where you can deploy your actual model into to the system. So PUs are the graphical processing units and the TPUs, the tensor processing units. These are help us to process our information, process our us a compute power to process our information faster. So that's how all the models are stored or the based on a infrastructure. So it's a foundation of your can say foundation of your any Gen AI application. Okay. So what are the models? So models are the agent's brain, we can say. The core intelligence came from the model. The complex algorithms is written in this model. So the model have some learning patterns and they have some diverse capabilities. With that learning pattern and the diverse capabilities, it create or generate the content for us. So it can create a generate the content based on the previous recommendation or the previous data they are having, or the previous we can say images they are having. So it will generate the image resembling to previous data and the prompt whatever we are giving. So we can say this agents are the brain. It gives us a algorithms it because it is trained on the vast amount of data and it learns from the pattern and the relationships and it generate a new content. So this is how model works. Then it comes to a platform. So platform again a very essential tools for building AI. So platform we can say which connects model to our agents is a platform. So when we say the platform, it can come as a tools for the development like developers workbench or the tools and the services which are in the system. Then the APIs and the data management. So APIs, as we know, APIs are the connectors for front end to back end. So here we are working, we are having the APIs for connecting our models to our agents. It comes with the data management, it comes with the session management and everything. And then model deployment. So platform help us to deploy our model, simplify our models, it is ready to use. So it act as a bridge between the model and your functional agents. That's how it simplifies the complexity and manages underlying infrastructure behind the scene. So this is how the platform layer works. So, in short, the platform layer is making AI development and deployment more accessible and efficient, transforming raw models into usable agents. Then it comes a agent. What are agents? Are the from a specific objectives. Say, for example, I have a goal of booking a flight ticket. So, my agent will help me to book a flight ticket. So it has some goal to be achieved. So we can define agents. A software designed to achieve a specific goal is an agent, we can term. So it's not just generating a text or the image, but it try to achieve something which like it learns how the best agent can reach to that goal. So this is how agent works. So agent has a autonomous action. What mean the autonomous action? So it defining the characteristic here. This means agent can independently set a sub goal and carry them out within defined environment. It doesn't need to consistent human holding. It has a high degree of independence. What does it mean, high degree of independence? So for example, I'm trying to book a flight ticket here. So my end goal is to book a flight ticket, but to segregate my goal into smaller chunks and then to execute that chunks independently is done by the agents. It again have a multi-step task. It analyze the situation, it analyze the use cases, it analyze the tools and make their own decisions. And beyond the models, they handle the complex and the chain actions like research or the troubleshooting. Say for example, in the coding agent, if I have given the code and if I got to some of the error in that code, so if I say I got this error in that code, it will again go back, analyze the code which was given by the agent, and then again gives me a correct code. So what agent is doing here? Going back, troubleshooting, researching and giving me another solution. How can I solve this code? Is there a compiler issue or is there any configuration issue? So it will try to solve the query unless and until the goal is achieved. So this is what the agent does. So depending upon the agents, depending upon the goals, we are having different type of agents like customer agents, code agents and the data agents. So here when we say the customer agent, it has a specific goal and it will complete that goal. When we say the code agent, it has some goal and it will give me the solution until the goal is achieved. The same goes with the data agents. Okay. So call center messages like press 1 for this, press 2 for this. Aren't those the agents? So we are using the agents since long. But now what is about the generative AI agents? So these are the traditional agents. So I'll give you an example here. Everyone goes to the ATM machine. So what does ATM machine does? ATM machine has a set of programs. So when you go, you have to insert your ATM card over there. Once you insert the ATM card, it will ask you for the PIN. So these are the set of instructions been fed to the system, the ATM machine. So you may say these are also the agent. The goal is defined. The steps are defined. Then what is the AI agents? What is new in that? We are using this workflows or the agent since long. Then what is a new invention? What is a hype about these AI agents? Okay, so let's see what are the traditional, or we can say the deterministic agents, and what are the Gen AI agents. Okay, so in deterministic agent, the actions are, as I mentioned, actions are predefined. They have a fixed sequence of steps. They are a workflow driven. They follow the set and the fixed sequence of steps. So they have to do the step 1 complete, then you have to do step 2, then if it is complete, then step 3. But in the meantime, if I come from step 1 to 3, it may get troubled, or it may not give the accurate response, or they may say error occurred. So there is a workflow is it is a workflow driven, and say it's a workflow driven sequence which is followed in a deterministic agents. So yeah, and it's a event triggered as well. Like for specific event, you have to specify the specific inputs or the events, and whatever the response we are getting are the predictable and the controlled, and they are the consistent and the repeatable outcomes. Say for example, in support system automated full menus, we have a press 1 for sales, press 2 for support, right? So these are the event triggered and the deterministic agent. To give more elaborative example, in this case, say for example, I'm buying some of the I bought some things from the Amazon and just wanted to return it. Okay, so if I go to the chatbot of Amazon, and then I said I want to return the shirt I brought last weekend, so it will find out the keywords like return and shirt, and it will give me the return policies. So these are the return policies, and these are the steps how can you return your shirt. So this is what comes in the deterministic agents. So here what they are doing, they are picking a keywords, and depending upon the keywords they are giving back the response. But I don't like, I want to send back my top which I bought 2 weeks earlier. Here I'm not using return and I'm not using shirt. So here the chatbot might get confused because I'm I'm writing with my human natural language, and I might not get the correct response. Here's it comes a agentic AI or the AI agents. So AI agents are smart enough to understand your queries even though it's in a natural language, and it processes it and it gives you a proper response in a natural way. So this is what it can say, this is what differs in the deterministic agent and the AI agent. So, as we say, deterministic agent has a reasoning loops and the tools, but it doesn't have a models. So, reasoning loop, we just discussed about the ATM machine, right? So, these are the reasoning loop, and it comes with the tools. it has an algorithm, it has some algorithm, and it has some loops, and it goes unless and until the goal is achieved. If the goal is not achieved, it will give you the message that this is error or something else, or contact to customer support. In the case of Amazon, or in the case of ATM, it will gives you error or the red light. Okay, so as we discuss about the AI generative agents, so generative agents are backed by the large language model. That's why it understands the human language, it understands the natural language, and it understands the intent, not just the keywords. So, and it's more flexible in the conversation. So because of this, it has enhanced capabilities to incorporate reasoning loop and the tooling, and it is used for the advanced problem solving. And what are these impact? It moves from fixed script to the dramatic and the context aware and the intelligence reactions. So you'll not see the for case of AI agents, you are not get the response like sorry I'm not aware about that, sorry I'm not aware about that. Unless and until it is AI, you will not get the response like I'm not aware about that frequently. Yeah, you may get it, but frequency might be lesser. So as we discussed earlier, about the Amazon return policy bot with a generative agentic AI versus flow. So with the help of models, it is been more intelligent to understand the intent. So when I say I wanted to return a top which I bought 2 weeks back, so this agent will understand I'm intended to looking for a return policy, or I wanted to return some stuffs which I bought. So unless a workflow based reasoning loop, it is not like a reasoning loop or the workflows we discussed. So generative agents comes with the reasoning loops tools, and it comes with the AI model. So this is why AI agents are more powerful and more usable in today's world than the normal workflows or the deterministic agents. So when you say all the agents are the AI agents nowadays, then I'll say no, it's not. Most of the agents are nowadays hybrid. So because it's a deterministic as well as generative agents. So for generative agents, we need to write some of the rules, we need to write some of the workflows, and with those workflows are backed by the generative agents. So these are nowadays which practice in the field of agents. So they are the hybrid agents. Most of the agents are not only deterministic or not only generative. So they are a mix of algorithms as well as the generative AI capabilities, or we can say the model backed. So let's see what are the building blocks of an agents. So first step is a perception. So perception is like what? It's understand the environment and gather its input. From it gathers the input from database, it gathers the input from APIs, sensors. So just like we need our ears and eyes to see and hear the data relevant to task, so this could mean the reading the text, or interpreting the image, or analyzing the sensor data, or understand the user spoken commands. So this is what perception is. So it understand the environment. The example of it, the code agent perceiving that there is an error message in the compiler output. So this is a perception. The another thing is the reasoning. Reasoning is what? When we perceive the information, what we have to do next is a reasoning. We can say it is it is a deciding factor what we want to do next. So this is the reasoning, we can say reasoning block will do. It will apply the logic and figure it out where the best next steps are, or the solution, or to achieve the goal, how it is, how, which algorithm to use to achieve my goal. Okay, and then the memory. So memory is same like what we recall, or what we have seen, or what we have done earlier. So AI comes with a memory. So that's how AI are intelligent enough to recall the conversation and give the best output depending upon what are the earlier conversation was. So it comes with a memory, and it recall what it has seen or done in the past. And then planning. So when we does the reasoning, we does the breakdown into the smaller task, and then with the help of small task, it executes it and gives us a, and then from action, okay, and then the action, we have a action, what to do after the reasoning and the planning, and it executes the decisions, and it gives to the feedback loop. And feedback loop is more important because it learns from the feedback and improves from whatever the feedback it gets, or the outcomes, we can say. So this is how the agent works. So it get the perception, gather the input, it does the reasoning, it decide where to go. It, if we have a memory, if he has done something similar in the past, recalls from the memory. If not, it will plan and break down into the simple task, and then it takes action, and then it moves back to the feedback. So this goes on and on until the goal is achieved. So this is what a agent does in a nutshell. So it is like based on the goal of the current information, LLM process that thought, it takes some action, and it does the observation whether it is done or not. If the observation is like if the action is completed or not. If action is not completed, then it again goes into the thought, the action and the observation. So so this process is reasoning and the action. So it's react, we can say. It goes in loop and loop until and unless the goal is achieved. So this is what a deeper dive into the AI agents. So the basic thing you need to understand is the agents are the something which is performed to complete certain goal, and it will not stop unless and until the action or the goal has been achieved. So to understand this in more deeper and deeper, let's have an example. So I need to plan a trip. So my goal is to plan a weekend trip to Paris with my family of 4 next month, and my budget is $3,000. So what would be the first loop? The first loop is I need to find a flight first. And what is the action? So I need to search out the flights which from Paris. I need to find out the flights to the Paris for a people for next month. And what is the observation? The cheapest flights are $2,000, and that means I'm left with a $1,000 for the hotel and the activities. So here, what is thought? Thought is need to find a flight. So I need to plan a weekend trip. That means the agent is dividing my goal into smaller chunks. So when we say the smaller chunks, it is finding out the sub goals. What is the first goal? Need to find the flight tickets. Okay. And I'm getting the observation that With the left 1000, I need to find the hotels and the activity. So what would be my second loop? The second loop is, now I need a hotel for 4 people under 1000 for a weekend. Then what is my action? It will find out the with the price and guest constraint and find out the hotel which is having a budget of 1000 people for 4 people for the weekend. So here you see, so here agent will find out 3 high rated hotel and I'll present these options. Okay. So here what you can see, my intention is to plan a weekend trip for a Paris. So it divided it into 2 tasks. One is to find a flight tickets and then find the hotels. But it is not finding a hotels directly with a budget of $2,000, but it is taking an input from the observation. What is the input from the observation? That I just remaining with a $1,000 for the hotel booking, and this is the amount I need to utilize for my reservations or the hotel bookings. So this is how agent breaks down their goals or the task and execute that task, give the observation, use the action and what about it, and then again work on this. So this is a simple example of how agent works, or the how travel agent work in a nutshell. So you might think about your company where you can have this kind of agents usable, or new use cases for the agents where it can break down their task or the break down their tasks and get the desired outputs. So what is the output? It present a complete eternity with the flight options and hotel options which meet that budgets. So output is getting all the details with the given constraint. So this is the goal of my agent. This is the end goal of my agents. At the end, I like to quote, so AI agents are not just programs, but they are proactive entities designed to understand intent, reason, and act, bringing a new dimension to the automation. So these are the automation along with can say the generative AI, and it backed with models, so it's like more human like conversation in the workflows rather than just the electronic workflows or the computer generated workflows. So these are the AI agents. I hope you like my content, and if you would like to, yeah, yes, if you would like to connect with me, you can connect me on the LinkedIn with this QR code. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay connected. Happy learning.